going on YouTube? It is Woody, and I'm back again for another live Q&A moment. So if you're catching this on the replay, do not fear the information I share, then share it with somebody else. What's going on, Josh? First, so today, what's going on, Mac, Andre? Snowed in, man. Let's power through it, man. You're snowed in. You just got to spin the wheels and get out of there. The other trucker, James. What's going on, man? What's going on, Chad? Happy Saturday. Woody Wood up to all kinds of good. Shadow Wolf. Hey, man. What's going on? This is the Wolf. New to your channel. Appreciate that. What's going on, David? Mario from Brazil. What is going up? Brazil, Australia. We got any Russians in here? Any Chinese? Where's everybody watching from? That's crazy, man. Worldwide. Alabama. So, what's going on, Alex? Are you the Woody from Blair? Yes. I used to I did not have time. The people there were cool at Blair. Like, it's just I couldn't make enough money there, man. Like, I was running as hard as I could. I was running as hard as I do here, and the checks just were not what they should have been. So, anyways, so today, little motivation for you guys out there. I know a lot of you have been listening to the podcast. I appreciate that very much. Also, you were there with you, but you left. Congrats, dude. Harry says he just paid off his truck. Good shit, man. Now you can start stacking up that cash and grow your business. That's what you do. Pay off your truck, at least one of them. Pay off at least one of them so you have a money maker. That's the deal with the woodshed. Is this truck's been paid off over 2 years? You know, people can make jokes and say, "Oh, it's a lease fleet," but the main truck I drive has been paid off over 2 years. So I don't know what you're talking about. But I listen to every podcast and I share them. I appreciate that, man. The name of the podcast is Next Level Trucking. So the goal is to help you guys get to the next level in your business and beyond. I will be changing some of the graphics and stuff on the channel here in the future to reflect that, but ultimately my goal with the channel going forward is to help as many people as possible figure out what it is they need to do to get to the next level. So power through. One of the biggest things, like, the numbers are staggering, how many people fail at this business and how many people go out of business because they give up too soon, right? They hop companies all the time, or they and changing your company once every couple years is not considered job hopping, in my opinion. I'm talking about people that change their company every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, and there isn't necessarily anything wrong with that either. It's kind of a fine line, but what I mean is just quitting entirely. Now, if you're jumping jobs because you know for sure you're going to make more money at the next place, that's not a problem. The problem is when people just don't want to put in the work that's required to make the cash. And so they blame the company, they blame the dispatcher, they blame their dog or whatever, I don't know. Maybe the dog farted and stunk up the truck so they couldn't run. I don't know what kind of excuses these drivers make nowadays, but drivers will make every kind of excuse in the book why they aren't making good money, why they aren't running harder, etc. So I don't have any moderators because I do not I don't moderate the comments. They are what they are. But anyway, yeah, I am at RST. I appreciate the I appreciate you're new to the channel. I appreciate you being here. But basically, so many people quit right before they're about to reach the next level. And my message for you today is don't quit. Power through it. There's going to be a struggle no matter what you do. I've had many struggles on the journey to fleet ownership, and where I am right now, I still have struggles. Um, you know, some weeks you'll look at how much you're making, and you're like, man, I don't know if this is worth it. And especially when you just have one truck and it's not paid off yet. The guy that just paid off his truck, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say you're gonna have weeks where you wonder what the heck are you doing out here, man. When you pay off that $5,000 or $8,000 repair bill, and you just ate 3 weeks worth of profit, right? Now you're asking yourself these questions of what should I do? Should I keep doing this? Because now I'm just going to be able to say some people get to the point where they run just hard enough to save up enough money to pay for the next repair, and you have to push through that. So I've told this story before, but back in the day, I had some serious issues with this truck. Back in the day, it mostly was my fault because of not understanding how the emission systems works, and I learned from that. But my emission system went out because I wasn't doing the proper maintenance on it, and I was $15,000 in the hole, and I still had a truck payment every week. So I was $15,000 in the hole, and I had to stay out for 5 months straight to pay that off and to get ahead. And I was living off of my savings account during that 5 months, and I didn't get to go home for that 5 months because I had to just keep running. And I powered through it. And you know, a lot of people would have quit at that point, or said, you know, a lot of people said, oh, you were dumb for doing that, or whatever. It was, well, that's cool. I have a paid off truck today because I did that, because I powered through that. Are you in California? No, I am currently in Mississippi. How much do you charge per week to run off your DOT number? I don't run my own authority. I run underneath RST Riverside's authority. Always give a notice. Sometimes they take it, sometimes they don't. Keep pushing. Failure is learning until you quit. Then it's over. Failure is learning. Right. Yeah. Yes, I am at RST. I'm building my fleet here. So, you know, there's a lot of videos out there going around, and honestly, all it is drama and people trying to get their view count up. That's all it is. So I'm not here to respond to any of that. Do you race your trucks? No, I do not race my trucks. My trucks are made for hauling freight. That's it. That's true too, man. Ponka said if it comes easy, it's not really rewarding. Is he still selling that yellow car? Who? I don't know anything about a yellow car, man. Woodshed races downhill. Do you miss working at the prison? No, I really don't. I mean, I guess, okay, the one thing that I missed about working at the prison is it was 4 days on and 4 days off. So every 8 days, you have 4 days off. So I do kind of miss that, but it wasn't worth it, man, because I was only bringing home like $2,000 a month. So it really wasn't worth it. Appreciate your advice about Prime's lease purchase. No problem, man. Let's blow something up like a GPS system. I could blow something up. I was thinking in the future when this truck is no longer a viable money-making machine, I could fill it up with explosives out in the desert and have the Mythbusters blow it up or something. Just take it out to the desert and blow it up with dynamite. Collaborate with Indiana Jack. I wouldn't mind. I've never ran into Indiana Jack out here. I don't think. ELD, blow it up. Hurry. Nah. ELD's good, man. The rates are higher than they've ever been because of the ELD. See, the reason I don't have 100+ people watching is because I'm not involved in drama. That's why there isn't 100 people watching. I appreciate the subscription there, sir. Don't need Mythbusters. I know where to get sticks. All right, cool. Hook me up. We'll take her out. When the old girl dies, we're gonna retire. When the old girl dies, she's gonna be dead, and we're gonna take her out back and just have a big kaboom. You know, just blow her up. That's a wrap. How about I do it like this, where if I get to a million, this is stupid. If I get to 1 million subscribers, I'll blow up the woodshed on camera or something. Appreciate no drama. Life is too short. Exactly, man. I don't have time to worry about what other people are doing. I really don't. And the only reason I do the YouTube stuff at all anymore is because I know that, like, you guys are freaking awesome, because I'll go to a truck stop or something and you'll come up to me and shake my hand, and you'll ask me questions in person, and I don't have a problem answering questions and helping somebody out, or you'll send me a message on Facebook or wherever, and I respond to 99% of my messages. Like, there's a few that slip through the cracks that I forget about or I miss, but I respond to 99% of every message and every comment that comes through. Because I actually realize, unlike some people, that you guys are actually real people sitting in your truck, sitting at home, driving, whatever you're doing, responding to these videos, watching these videos, and I really respect that, because there's, you're real people. Like, at first when I first started YouTube, it was hard to realize that, it just, like, I'm talking to a camera. Like, I'm in my truck, I'm by myself, there's nobody around, there's nobody watching me, whatever. It's too easy to just look at the camera and you just see a number on the screen. But it's like, okay, there's 63 people sitting down, listening to what I have to say. So I better make sure that what I'm saying is important, that's something that's going to help somebody. That's how I look at it. Like, I'm not here to BS and cause problems for anybody or talk shit about anybody. One, I don't care what anybody else is doing, and two, they really shouldn't care what I'm doing, because it doesn't affect them. But at the same time, you guys have to sit through all this. Well, you don't have to, but you choose to sit through all this. My goal is to make sure that you get something out of it. So, and you guys, and like, I don't need people that want drama. Like, if you're just here because you think I'm gonna talk shit about somebody, then you need to leave, because that's not what my channel's about. I don't know how much more sense I make than anybody else. I just speak from experience, how I've done things, and I'm always learning and trying to do better and come with better information. Exactly, it's, I remember when I did my first live feed, I had like 2 people, so it's definitely growing, and I appreciate everybody that does watch the live feeds and watches the replay and all that, because, like I said, too many people will look at their numbers and they just see numbers. Every single number that goes up, I see that's one person that I can help, or share some knowledge with. Or maybe you guys can share something with me. Are you making this RST video to go back at Little Dog and the negative videos? This isn't an... What is the title of the video? The title of the video is Power Through. If you just came in, I was talking about struggling and pushing through it, and part of that is having money set to the side for when the struggle comes, because it's coming, so that if your truck breaks down or whatever, or I should say when your truck breaks down, you've got money to live off of while you hustle to build that money back up for repairs. If you didn't have enough, like say your engine blows up and it's not covered by warranty for some odd reason, now you got to replace the motor or go buy another truck. Well, if you don't have the money set to the side to do that, you're screwed. So, and I've been through that struggle of being $15,000 in the hole. That wasn't fun, man. But thankfully I had set enough emergency money to the side to make sure that I could still eat and pay my bills while we were paying off that repair bill. What's up? But no, this is not a video about RST or responding to anybody. I don't respond to other people. Like, I mean, the only people I'm responding to is like if you're in the comments and you have a question about something, I have no problem answering questions, but I'm not here to like instigate crap or create drama for anybody. How do I get my wife on board with me going to Prime? I mean, honestly, the trucking industry is hard, period, when it comes to significant others. If they don't understand, like if you decide to take an OTR position at Prime and they don't understand that you're going to be gone 6 weeks at a time, you're going to have a bad time. One way to mitigate that is to bring them with you. Okay? Have them take off of work for 6 weeks or thing. Have them come out with you and see what you're doing. A lot of the reason relationships don't work out in the trucking industry is because the spouse or whoever's at home doesn't understand what you're doing out here. They think you're screwing around. They think you're out here having fun and all this kind of stuff, when really you're out here busting your ass just to pay the bills. And so show them that. If you have a significant other at home that doesn't understand what you're going through out here, they don't understand why you got to be gone so long, bring them out with you for a little bit. And if you can, or just do some videos, show them what's going on out there. I mean, in this day and age, there's really no excuse for it, because like you can do a FaceTime, you can do send pictures all day. Anytime you're parked, you can send a picture. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm there. Whatever. They should be able to understand that ultimately what you're trying to do is make enough money so you can get to the next level and provide more for your family. So if your significant other can't understand that, then it's probably not going to work, and you probably shouldn't do it. If you know that person isn't going to be comfortable with you being away from home, or maybe it's the vice versa. You're out on the road all the time and you're not comfortable with them being home all the time because maybe they're screwing around on you. Who knows? Happens all the time, man. Let's see if we got any questions in here. You gave me the motivation to go lease purchase and haven't looked back since. Good shit, man. If you have any questions about that, hit me up in my inbox, and I'll help you the best I can. If you have questions about your numbers or anything like that, feel free to shoot me a message. Is the insurance really $300 a week at RST? I pay $36 a week. Yes, it is, and here's why. The insurance at RST, you're paying for cargo, liability, and everything. You're paying for bobtail, you're paying for cargo, you're paying for everything. That's how it's structured. So the insurance is like you would be paying, for all of it. And it's actually a fairly low rate for the coverage that we have. I've been watching your channel for a while. I always liked your content. I like seeing your company grow. I appreciate that, man. I have no idea, Southside Trucker. I have no idea. That's not my problem. I mean, if people don't like what I'm doing, then watch. That's all I can say. Don't have to live like you're in the 80s. At some point, I'd appreciate hearing how you dealt with dispatch and low driver paying for your current truck you're in. Ultimately, you're not understanding what the insurance is for. So, ultimately, when I was at Prime leasing with them, I had a really good dispatcher, but I was doing about $1.60 all miles on the lease program, which was fairly decent for what it is. So I didn't really struggle with loads much because I would just take whatever they gave me. And over time of doing that, level of respect with my dispatcher, and I started getting all the good loads. So pretty much it's going to come down to your dispatcher, and if your dispatcher has a bad relationship with sales, then you're going to get bad freight. Jeremy was saying a lease purchase has more liability involved than staying on as a company driver. Okay. Jeremy who? Anyways, so it was a struggle, man. Like, I wasn't making like crazy money when I was on the prime lease side, but I was in it. So I wasn't gonna quit. Like I said, I just powered through it. So after everything was said and done, I was still bringing home about 1,300 a week. So, I was busting my ass, but I looked at it like, okay, I'm bringing home about 1,200 a week, and I'm paying off the truck at the same time. So I just kept doing it until the truck was paid off. I've never heard of that trucking channel, Joey. Sorry. I really don't watch other people's YouTube channels that much. It's not like I'm not out here to watch other people's stuff. I'm out here to spread good information and help you guys. That's it. Like, I'm not on YouTube to watch what everybody else is doing. I ain't got time. One, I don't have time, because I'm actually running my company. And two, I don't care what everybody else is doing at all. Like, I got out of that a long time ago, because at first I was like, oh, what's so-and-so doing, or what's so-and-so doing? Then I started to realize that shit don't pay my bills. Like, worrying about what somebody else is doing doesn't pay my bills. And, for anybody that's questioning how it works over here, if you don't like it, don't come here. If you don't think it's a good deal, then don't come here. That's all I can tell you. I make what I need to make to pay my bills, stack up cash, and add more trucks. About to go into business and doing lots of research. Yes, James Hensley, that is correct. What's going on, LaShawn? I'm behind on the comments because y'all are just blowing them up here. But we get extremely low rates. I mean, I only did $2.41 a mile this week. All right, LaShawn. Stop telling. First of all, stop telling people your rates, because it don't matter. Like, if you're happy with the rate that you got and you can break it down and figure out that you're making a profit, it doesn't matter what anybody else is making. What anybody else is making. What matters is, are you happy with what you made? And for me, yeah, I'm happy with what I made. Am I going to tell you what I make? No. It's none of your damn business. But the only thing I can tell you is I'm making enough money to pay all of my drivers, okay? Take care of all operation costs, pay my truck notes, and buy another truck. So I don't know what to tell you other than that. As far as how to break down your numbers, I like to do it by the year. So you can do it based on 100,000 miles, right? So if you figure out what your truck note is for the whole year, right? You figure out all this stuff. You write it down, right? You guys got a pen and a piece of paper, right? So you write down your truck note, what your truck note's going to be for the whole year, for 100,000 average of, as a solo driver, 100,000 miles. Write down what your truck payment is going to be for the full year. Write down what your insurance payment's going to be for the full year. Write down an estimate of what your fuel is going to be for the full year. Okay? Because if you do it by the week or by the month, you're just going to confuse yourself because the numbers change too much. All right? So figure this on 100,000 miles for a solo, probably 210 for a team. All right? So base it off of that. That's an average, a pretty solid average of what a solo truck is going to do is 100,000 miles a year. Now, I'll get to all your comments in a minute, but I want to explain how I do it. I go by the whole year, how I break down what my costs are going to be. Okay? And every time I add a truck, that number changes. But for a single truck, you can go by 100,000 miles, right? Well, if you figure out that you're paying $35,000 a year for truck notes on a brand new truck, that's 35 cents per mile. Week for fuel, that's $52,000 for fuel. And you can break that down by the mile. Okay? So that's how I recommend doing it. Get a good average of how many miles you're going to run for the year. Then figure out how much your expenses are going to be for the whole year for your fixed costs, for your truck note, your insurance, your plates, your permits. On average fuel price and like the national average fuel price and how much what your average fuel economy is. So break it down you can break it down by the year, but basically you're going to look at, okay, if you want to break it down by the month, you can figure I'm going to do, say, probably at the most like 10,000 miles a month. So break it down for the month for based on 10,000 miles. If you do more than that, you can adjust it, but your actual cost per mile is going to change every single day because you're not running the same miles every day. You're not running, unless you have the same load every single day, which most people don't. It's going to change a lot. So I just base it off the year. Especially as the fleet grows, the numbers get pretty crazy. How would you that type of relationship exist? What that means? RST might pay more because it can't sells. A new when starting your own business if you have the cash. No, I would not. Because the truck is going to pay for itself. So why would you pay cash for a truck? Because now, like, if you finance a truck and you structure it like a lease purchase, okay, if you structure the purchase agreement like a lease purchase, it's just another form of financing, guys. If you structure it like a lease purchase, you can write off 100% of the truck note every week or every month. However, whatever frequency you're paying the truck note, you can write off 100% of it every time you pay it. If you pay cash for a truck, whether it's $30,000 or $170,000, if you pay cash for a truck, you can't deduct all of that all at once. You have to depreciate it. So don't do that. You're tying up all your cash into a truck, and it's not a good way to operate, because if you use credit and you've got $170,000 in cash, you could go buy 5 or 6 trucks with, you know, even like 20% down each. Okay, so don't use all of your cash to go buy trucks. That doesn't make sense, especially as long as you have drivers to put in the trucks and they're going to run. The trucks are going to pay for itself by hauling freight. What is the biggest maintenance coming up for fleet that you know is due in the future? Tires, brakes. Tires probably one of the biggest things, but we try to get tires that are going to last longer. Let's see. You know, pretty much other than that, just, you know, your regular oil changes. What is my cost per mile? My cost per mile to operate is $1.52. But it changes, like I said, it changes every time I add a truck. So but I base my cost per mile off $1.52. Anything above that is profit, for the most part. I have my own company with 8 trucks. Good deal. If it's none of our business, why are you saying what you made a mile this week? I didn't. Let's see. I get a check every 2 weeks without fail. Can't complain with that. Current spot market average, I talked about in a video I did like 2 days ago. You can watch that video. I discussed it. The spot market average changes every week, yes, but right now it's close to, depending on what kind of freight you're hauling. Now, as I mentioned in that video, the spot market average is only talking about loads where they can collect data off of brokered freight, spot market freight, okay? It's not talking about contract rates or direct shipping direct to the carrier, right? Picking up direct freight. It's not, those rates don't reflect direct freight rates, okay? So don't get that confused, guys. You've got the spot market, which is everything that's just thrown out there because they want somebody to haul it now. That's what the spot market is, okay? It's leftover stuff that fell off. There was extra freight that came on that wasn't able to be picked up on contract or whatever, okay? And sometimes shippers will put all of their freight on the spot market because they don't want to deal with the logistics side, so they just give it all to a broker, and then the broker puts it out there on the spot market. So the spot market is not a true reflection of what the best rates are, but a lot of people are going to get around what that average is. Now, and that average for the spot market covers the entire country. Like I said in that video, you could have a load that pays $3 in California and a load that pays $1.10 in Mississippi. It's going to bring that average down, all right? So don't get confused by that. Take the month as a whole for revenue. Yeah, you can, like I said, you can go by the month, you can go by the quarter, you can go by the year. Now, I've been doing this long enough, since 2011. Okay, I've been looking at these settlements, okay, basically the same type of settlement for over 6 years. I figure out how much money I'm making in my head. I don't even have to write it down anymore. I don't need a spreadsheet. I don't need to write it down. I just read every line of my settlement, and I'm like, okay, we did okay, or we didn't. I know immediately when I look at the settlement whether we did good or not. One, because you're going to look at the bottom line, and if it's a shitty number, then you, I mean, come on, guys, it's not that complicated, really. What is the average for RST? I don't know why you keep, like, I don't know. I don't own RST. This is a great video. Keep it posted. I want to be like you when I grow up. No, man. Here's the thing. You don't want to be like me. What I want you to do is I want you to be yourself, but better than you were yesterday. All right? So be yourself, but be better than you were yesterday. Hustle more / get to the next level. And this dude, you're just a troll. So, I typically don't block people, but you're just being retarded. So, you're in timeout until you can chill out and get along with other people in the comments. Run hard, stack cash, keep buying trucks. Can't ask a question, getting defensive. You guys pay sales tax on a lease? No. There's no sales tax on a lease because it's not a sale. Okay, this is the tax benefit of quote unquote lease purchasing a truck, right? So, like, I bought that copper truck, I bought from the dealership. I'm financing from BMO Harris Bank. They structure it like a lease purchase with the like a $1 balloon payment, okay? Because it then, I don't know what happened, but pretty much like a lease purchase is going to work. You put a down payment, then you have amortization schedule, which basically amortization schedule is telling you how much you're going to pay every week or every month, and how many weeks or how many months, and then it shows the principal balance decreasing every time you make a payment. That's your amortization schedule. At the very end of your amortization schedule, you're going to have your final payment. That final payment is your bill of sale payment. And when you get your title and the bill of sale, that's the amount that's going to be on there. So you're not going to have $170,000 bill in, okay? And then that final payment's your bill of sale. Also, if you apportioned plate, at least this for the state of Texas, right? If you are in the IFTA program, okay, you're paying for your plate every year, right? If you're in the IFTA program, which if you're interstate, you should be, you're buying in what's called an apportioned plate, which means you pay taxes in every state that you run for the full year, okay? And then, so if you have an apportioned plate on a commercial truck, when you get it titled, you don't pay sales tax on the truck because you're paying that tax on the plate every year. Okay, I hope that makes sense for you. You don't have to pay sales tax on a truck when you get the title, as long as you're running an apportioned plate. At least for the state of Texas. Other states, I don't know, but the state of Texas, if you get the apportioned plate, you don't pay tax when you get the title. Now, if you purchase a brand new truck, you have what's called FET, federal excise tax. Okay, that you're not going to get around. If you purchase a brand new truck from a dealer, you're going to pay FET. Now, if you do a lease purchase through Prime, for example, you're not going to pay the FET. So there's some savings benefits there as well to doing a lease purchase. Yeah, Canada's pretty bad on their taxes, man. I'm not going to lie about that. Would I get a better tax rate as an S Corp versus LLC? It depends on how much money you net. And for that question, I can't give you tax advice. You have to talk to a CPA for that one. But it's not really, it depends on how much profit you're making. Okay? Go find your own channel. All right, bro. If I win the lottery, should I quit driving truck? If you want to. Guess what they say about you is true. I don't even know what y'all are fighting about now. Whose business is that? Get you some business. You tired. I'm done. I just finished for today. What do you do for entertainment while you're not driving? Just watch TV, YouTube. I like to play guitar and read books, and that's about it. Because after I'm done playing guitar and reading a book, I'm passed out. I'll usually pass out reading a book or something. Like I seriously. I haul my own freight, no brokers. Yeah, then the spot market doesn't apply to you because you're not hauling for brokers. The spot market reflects brokered freight. It's two completely different things, like I said earlier. So it's not, you can't compare that. Because if you're hauling direct freight, guess what? You also have 100% of all the expenses and 100% of all the liability because you're running under your own. So you need a higher rate, okay? If you're taking 100% of the liability, 100% of the expenses, then you need a higher rate, okay? What really matters here is what you're getting on the bottom line. Everybody wants to brag about how much they made on the rate, and then they don't talk about how much they made per day, and they don't talk about the net. This is why I don't talk about numbers at all usually, because people get their panties so twisted and they want to come on here and say, oh, I make more than you. I don't care what you make. Just to be blunt, I really don't. You don't own any trees. No. Let's see. The whole USA. Awesome. Question. What are the downsides of RST? Seems like a fantastic business plan. Gotta be the best out there. Ray, stop trying to start shit, man. Stop trying to start shit, Ray. Do companies give the driver... Wait a minute. What? Do companies give the driver protection point for fuel surcharge? Well, over here we get a contract rate of fuel surcharge. We get 100% of a contract rate fuel surcharge every week. The contract fuel surcharge changes every week, but we get whatever it is, we get that for every dispatch mile. So say, for example, the contract fuel surcharge rate is 23 cents. We get 23 cents for every dispatched mile to the truck for fuel surcharge. It changes every week, though, because most of what they deal with is contract stuff. So that's how they do it. We pay tax, lease finance by outright, doesn't matter. That sucks, man. HST, 15% on every dollar. That's not good. $5.50 heavy tax for IRS every year. Yeah, the $22.90, Tony. Thanks for bringing that up. You're correct, but I don't worry about the $22.90 anymore. I also don't worry about the plate cost either, because that's paid by the company that I'm leased onto. They pay for the plates. They get the plate. They register the plate. They take care of all of that. I don't have to do that. Now, when I was at Blair, I had to do it. I had to go to the courthouse. I had to wait in line at the courthouse to get my truck registered. I had to come out of my checking account to pay for the plate and to pay the $22.90. I don't have to do that anymore. And a lot of people may think, oh, you're spending extra money, but really, I'm all about saving time. If it saves me time, it's worth doing it. Play some Tom Petty. Nah, I'm good. I appreciate that, David Miller. Should I go Lone Mountain or LRM? Me personally, I would probably go with Lone Mountain if I had to choose between the two. That's not saying anything bad about LRM. I just don't know their program. I haven't looked at their program very closely, and to be honest with you, I think Lone Mountain has better equipment available. I love your channel. How can I watch your podcast? You can listen to the podcast on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Pocket Casts, and pretty much anywhere podcasts are available. Okay, so if you have Android, you can go on Google Play to listen to it for free. It's called Next Level Trucking. Just go to Google Play, go down to podcast on the menu, and search Next Level Trucking. It'll come right up. There's only 5 episodes out right now. I'm working on getting some more out. I got to take some notes and really get some more stuff put together for the next episode. I plan on having special guests as well. But ultimately, um, you can find the podcast pretty much at iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, etc., or Anchor. Anchor app. I love this channel. Thanks. We appreciate that, Ponka. Love from New Zealand. Can you tell us how you get so many subs? Just keep putting out videos, man. Be real, be yourself, and respect your audience. That's the best thing to do. Like, everybody that comments in here, if I missed a comment, I apologize, but I try to get everybody's questions answered that I can. Do you think with your numbers that you know, is it more profitable running the way you are or being on a load board with your own authority? It's definitely more profitable doing what I'm doing because of the consistency, the steadiness of the freight, and the level of automation that we have, right? So you have to look at it like this. If you have 4 trucks and you have to dispatch all of them yourself, and you're driving one of the trucks every day, and you're dealing with driver issues, putting out fires, making sure the drivers are taken care of, and you're doing payroll, you don't even have time to shit or get a burger. If you have to dispatch all of your trucks, okay, you got to drive one of them, and you got to do everything else. You're all by yourself. I don't even think that you would have, like, I'm starting to go bald as it is. I don't think I would have a single hair left on my body if I had to do all of that by myself for 4 trucks. 1 truck, no problem, right? But think about it. If you're a full-time dispatcher, payroll manager, HR, safety, maintenance, and operations, and you at the same time, you have to be recruiting drivers, lining up new trucks, going to the courthouse to get plates, getting the insurance set up. Like, you're doing everything by yourself. How much time do you think you would have to spend on that every single day to manage all of those things by yourself, just one person? Your wife's not helping you. You don't have a friend helping you. Just you, one person, doing it all. It would be like 4 full-time jobs. It doesn't make sense. So the system we have, the system of automation we have, where the customer we haul for dispatches our trucks for us. They've got the roadside assistance for maintenance issues. Okay, the drivers just send a message in the Qualcomm. They get roadside assistance or a shop appointment, whatever. The fuel card's set up for them already, so I don't have to write com checks all day long, or get express codes all day so my trucks can get fuel. Okay, you got the fuel cards all set up for them. You have to think about what you're getting for how much you're paying the company that you're leased to, okay? It's not just about the money. It's about how much time does that company that you're leased onto or that you're pulling for, how much time do they save you so that you can streamline your operation and grow faster? Because let me tell you something. If you're focusing 100% on dispatching every single truck every day, okay, you got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and start dispatching your trucks because your guys want to get a load so they can get paid. I don't want to have to do that for a huge fleet, because I plan on growing my fleet much bigger than just 4 trucks. If you have to do all that yourself, by yourself, I don't even know if it's possible. Like, most of the people I know that dispatch themselves and they have more than 1 truck, their wife helps them do it. Or they hire somebody to do it and help them in the office. Either way, you're spending a percentage of your revenue on dispatch. Okay? Now, if you have just 1 truck, it's not a big deal. Once you start growing your fleet, you got to either pay somebody to dispatch for you, or the carrier that you're leased onto is dispatching for you, and you give them a percentage of the load for that. Either way, you're either spending time or you're spending money on dispatching. There's no way around that. I also have to pay all the U.S. running authority fees and highway use tax. Is Lone Mountain anything like... I'm not going to answer that. I should have read that comment before I started reading it out loud. Great info. No problem, man. I'm here to help you guys figure this stuff out. Would like to know when the FMCSA began to put regulation also on the shippers and receivers, since there are many regulations imposed on the drivers. After all, 5, 6, sometimes 7 hours. 7 hours to pick or deliver. How many miles do you and your trucks average a week? I usually do about 25 to 2,700 myself. The whole fleet will average about 10,000 miles a week for the fleet. 10 to 11,000 miles a week for the whole fleet, depending on if somebody is if somebody's at home or whatnot, because it kind of works out with 4 trucks. It works out like there's almost always one guy that's at home. So I could say it's anywhere from 8 to 10,000 miles a week, somewhere in there, for 4 trucks. Maybe more some weeks. Like if all 4 trucks are out, we can hit 12,000 or more miles. But it changes every week because there's always something going on. I can't drive anymore. Let's see. You can only wear so many hats at a time. Exactly, man. Like, found the podcast. Appreciate that. My phone rings 24/7. Exactly. My phone rings, like, I've got it on silent right now, but it's already rang twice since I've been doing this live feed. So, wow. That should have worked. There we go. It's about time management. Okay? It's not just about, oh, you gave that company 20% of your revenue. Yeah. But what do you get for the 20%? How much time are they saving you? How much work are they doing for the percentage that you're giving them, right? So say there's a company out there, you haul 100% brokered freight, you get your rate con, and they take 15% of your rate con. What are you getting in exchange for the 15% you gave them? That's the question you have. That's the question that should be being asked. Not how much is the company taking, but how much is the company doing for you? How much time are they saving you for what they're doing? Like, I'll tell you right now, I don't want to sit in the courthouse for, 4 hours every time I add a truck. I don't want to have to be on the phone with the insurance company, for 3 hours every time I need to add a truck to my fleet. Who does? Like, I mean, but that's the stuff you got to do. And if you start growing a large fleet, that's a full-time job. Just going to the courthouse and doing payroll. So you got to think about that. This is why the podcast is called Next Level Trucking, because we're way beyond just one truck thinking here. And there's nothing wrong with having just one truck, but the game changes significantly once you start growing. Every time you add a truck, the game changes. Where did the when I was a correctional officer, my last name is Wood, and when I was a correctional officer, everybody called each other by their last name, so everybody just started calling me Woody. They're not going to put regulations on shippers and receivers because there's nothing really to regulate. You agreed to pick up the load. They agreed to ship it. Whatever happens, happens. That's trucking, bro. When do you plan on adding another truck? I am actually in the process of adding truck number 5 right now. I just picked the truck out yesterday, and I will be getting that truck taken care of I will be getting that truck taken care of here in the next couple weeks. We'll be adding that one. Woody, stay safe. Appreciate it, man. Time is money. Exactly. Can I buy a truck without CDL hiring someone? Would you please tell me how and how I can find carriers? I mean, somehow you found this YouTube video, so I'm going to assume you understand how to use Google. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but you can Google that, bro. Like, you can buy a truck without CDL hiring someone. Just go do it. Go to a dealer with